Everyone's so quiet this morning, Lisa.
You have us muted.
Yeah, but no one chatted in the chat box either. It's so quiet.
They're paying attention to housekeeping.
Probably more attention than I pay to my own housekeeping.
Everyone's so quiet this morning, Lisa.
Okay. All right. So let's have a look at what was in the box, and then I'm going to show you some ideas and stuff like that as well. So, it's still zoomed in from the Copic. All right, so here is my box. Look, 28 with love. That was your coupon. So I'm going to put this to the side here. You have these awesome stencils. So you have the love silhouette. Let's take this with sort of black because it's easier. We have the love silhouette. This is the yin and the yang. This one was Lisa's idea for a stencil. She really wanted the yin and the yang. Then you have Love Potion. So this all layers together. Actually, I think I used this in a class. Or I gave a sneaky peek. Then you have Heart Clouds to build this super cute background. I can imagine this on like a baby card and things. It would look gorgeous. And then the other part of it is you get the clouds. So you can like add that and then have this and layer them up and make them all soft and fluffy, which I think is awesome. And then you have heart doodles. So you can have hanging hearts, you can have a heart spotlight, you could have these, you could even put this inside the love potion if you wanted to as well. Yes, that's on there too. Excuse me. I'm losing my voice as well. But this is great. Lisa will be narrating this by the end of it. We gave you an Independence ink pad because love, red, all of that kind of stuff. We have red and silver glitters in here, are biodegradable glitters. I wanted you to try the bio glitters. They're cellulose base, so they biodegrade. So they're turtle friendly, eco-friendly glitters, but they still have a lot of sparkle. A lot of eco glitters don't have sparkle, but these ones still have super sparkle. So you got those. You got our Love Potion special edition Squid Buster, which smells so good. It smells of roses. My whole kitchen smell of it when they were making it. And every now and again I go and I spritz a little bit because I had a few left over and I just love that smell. Does anyone else love the smell of this one? The Love Potion, the roses. I love that rose water smell. In fact, one of my favorite martinis is a rose water martini. You can get it in London, and I found it one place in America, but only one, like a Lebanese restaurant had it, I think it was, or a Greek restaurant or something. Oh my God, it's so good. If you ever see it, try it. I think I actually have a few of these extra, so if anyone wants one, we can make that work as well. Yeah, in England, rose water, we drink and eat all sorts of stuff with rose flavoring, like Turkish Delight candies. I've had American Turkish Delight. It is nothing like real Turkish Delight. And yeah, it's where did I get Turkish Delight? When Bethany was with us, I bought her Turkish Delight. I didn't know, what did she ask? I think she asked me for it. I was going to England and she's like, I really want to try Turkish Delight. Sorry, Rosewater story. And so I bought her some back. She's like, American Turkish Delight does not taste like this. I'm like, I know. If you ever get to try real Turkish Delight, there's lemon and there's rose. Honestly, try it. It's amazing. And this smells just like it. That was what made me think of it. But yeah, my boyfriend is from, he's half French, half Albanian. And we eat a lot Lebanese food and those kinds of foods. And it always has rose flavoring in the desserts and stuff. And it is amazing. So just FYI. Anyway. You also have Happy Heart Day Versatiles. I want to kind of give you a few ideas with Versatiles too. So Versatiles, in case you've never had any before, I know lots of you have, but these are designed to fit inside of your cards. You have a couple of options. So you could use this as a card topper if you wanted to and just put it on the front, cut it, mat it. It would absolutely work. Some people have asked me like, how do I like to stick them in? So personally, I like to just put one line of tape at the top here and then put this inside of my card because it makes it look that little bit more elegant. And like a little bit more upscale, you know, when you buy those like Hallmark cards and they have the little leaf inside, they always charge a little bit more. So I just put one line of tape at the top and put that in my card. The other thing you can do is just put temporary tape on the top if you want to. And then put a little note at the bottom that they can peel it out and reuse the card. So if you want to, you can just use temporary tape too, or use a little bit of post-it tape to just hold it in there, and then they can remove it and reuse the card if you want that to be your option. So a couple of different options there on Versatiles. You got kaleidoscope powder. These gorgeous little trinkets here that you got as well. The little love trinkets, perfect card size. Like Lisa works really hard to find these ones that are really like perfect for card making sizes. You got 3 awesome white rubber stamps, which are the ones we're obviously going to focus on using. The ephemera that Lisa designed with love, thinking of you, thank you, just for you. I love the little gnomes down here. I want to make something with that. I think that's adorable. Here you could use, we have a stamp set, I think, that says you're utterly awesome. Somebody loves you. You're my favorite chick. So we did it so you can use the sentiments that you already have in your stamp sets and be able to do that as well. Okay, and then you've got classic love paper. Can I just say I'm in love with the strawberry one in this? So you've got all these really cute double-sided papers, but I love these strawberries. Strawberries. I say strawberries. I say this stuff at work and they all laugh at me. So I say strawberries. Like I say blueberries and raspberries instead of blueberries. Do the white rubber stamps have names for us to use for organizing? No, but we can pick some names. Let's have a look what we got. So I would call this Heart Doodles. This one I would call Heart Doodles. This one I would call Trip Around the World. And then Lisa, you came up with a name for this, didn't you?
They reminded me of shadow stamps, but they also have like a grassy torn edge.
Torn Shadow.
Sure.
There we go. It's called Torn Shadow. Look at that. All right. This is the one I want to start with because this is a really fun one to work with. You can do a ton of stuff with this, okay? So I'm just going to grab out a stack of cardstock and show you a few different ideas with it. So I'm just using the regular 110 pound, nothing special. And the nice thing about the white rubber is you don't have any of that like photopolymer residue and it's not going to like bead up or anything like that. So I want to show you just a couple of different ideas. Let's grab some inks. I just had my bag of ink. We'll start off with, say, some lemon. And you can just create really pretty background piece. And then that's perfect because you can stamp a flower on top, you could stamp a sentiment on top and have a really quick and easy card. It's almost like a belly band pre-done for you and you can go either way. Say for instance, you do something like with magnolia flowers. Give it another misty. So you can see like that, quick and easy card panel. You can just add a sentiment and it looks really pretty on there as well. Okay. So that's idea number one. You can also more yellow. And I'm going to grab a different color. Maybe a little bit of Cotswold green. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the lid of my Misty here. And you see, I'm just kind of like, just like picking up the edges. And then I'm going to grab a cloth here. And I'm just dabbing gently. You saw, like, really gently. Whoop. And we'll press. So what you can do is make it look like a texture block. You see how those two colors fade together perfectly? And then you could do exactly this again. It will do it. Thanks, Jen. I'm going to show you like lots of ideas with this one because I really, really like it. Like when I saw this block, I was like, oh my God, it has so much potential to it. So this one looks a little bit more rustic. You can see. So you can do like the clean cut, or you can do the more like rusticy thing on there. And if you like doing mixed media, this is going to be a really fun block for you to work with on there as well. You also, let's clean this off. Where's my love potion? Now I want Turkish Delight, like real Turkish Delight. Turkish Delight is, I'm trying to think of a texture. So they're like little cubes, maybe like 3/4 of an inch cubes. And I'm trying to describe it. It's not as chewy as a milk dud, but it's not soft like a marshmallow. It's like, think of like a hard Jello, like a chewy Jello. Because they're like, when you feel it, it feels like Jello, but it's more firm than that. Gummy bear, maybe, but soft, a bit softer. It doesn't have that like harsh exterior to it. It's like soft all the way through. And then it's covered in powdered sugar. And sometimes they got nuts in them, but they're usually lemon or rose, sometimes orange, but usually lemon or rose. And then they add nuts to some of them and stuff. Oh my God, they're like to die for. Like, oh my God. Oh, now that's all I want. I'm gonna go to like, I want Turkish Delight. Go find me some. Let's see. I'm gonna pick some pretty colors. We're gonna do different. Let's do pink. And we'll do bubble gum, flamingo, and sugar plum. And I want to show you two different ways that you can turn this into a really cute ombre on here as well. Oh, really? Yeah, because the American ones are not good, but the British ones or European ones. Are much, much better. Okay. So you get Italian pasta. I did find British truffles at Home Goods one day, but they've never had them since, which kind of sucks. So I'm going to start with some bubble gum. Okay. And I'm going to use my cloth. And stamp. And then I'm going to take some, I'm not cleaning this, by the way. You see? Trying to make sure I can get everything in the frame here. To the left. Let's have a little bit. So then I'm going to take my flamingo and I'm going to cover up some of that and then do like my next panel. And then we're going to do the same thing. So just my cloth. And you want to like dab your finger up and down because that's what's going to give you that really pretty fade, you see? And then we're going to stamp again. And then we're going to do sugar plum. Now look at that as a fade. Almost like you could do a sunset. Look at that. And it's because, so if you know, we have the watercolor stamps in the photopolymer, it's just the white rubber reacts differently. This to me kind of looks like Aurora Borealis, or you could turn this into a nighttime stamp. Imagine putting some like little trees down here. But let's do a sunset while we've got this out and open going. I need to move this aside. I got the room. So clean this up. Like you could turn a stamp into scenes. Yeah, flamingo. So let's do some green at the bottom. I think maybe Cotswold. I don't think we want to go as, what we're going to do is I'm going to do a tiny bit like that of British Racing Green. Like this. Then we're going to go into our Cotswold green. Switch one. Yeah, so you've got the Cotswold. And so what I'm doing with my finger, is you see how I'm like pitter-pattering it out? And I'm going to stamp. And then do lemon. All this back with all the colors and everything. So I'm going to do lemon. It's got some black. This cloth clearly needs a little clean. So I'm doing exactly the same thing. Nice bit of lemon on there. Then I'm going to go into some English mustard. I'm actually going to soften all of it out. And then do some red luster. And maybe even, where's that independence we have in our box? And I'm not cleaning this off in between because I'm getting darker and darker as I go up. I'm just adding a tiny bit of independence at the top here. So then you could just put, we have lots of tree line stamps. You could just put a tree line down here. You could stencil in some landscape or just use, like we have Adventurers Calling stamp. Just put that on there. But look how pretty that is. And the thing is, you don't have to worry about mud. Like normally if I had these colors together, I'd worry about mud. But with this technique, with just like doing the dots, you can see, and you could get a perfect rainbow. You could do all sorts of stuff. Someone said about horizontal. Let's try a horizontal. I love that idea. We might be like doing a while on this because there is so, I have more ideas, stuff you can do on this too. But like, this is a fun one. And it's a little bit different. So let's do a horizontal. So what kind of colors do we want to do for our horizontal? Throw some ideas at me. We want daytime. Do you want me to do a daytime one? What do you want me to do? Nighttime. So at night, I like to do sugar plum, carnation purple, probably Vegas strip. Okay. So I'm going to do a tiny tree line at the bottom, just a tiny, tiny, tiny one. Okay, like this. Like, look how small that is. And I probably would then just use like a little tree line stamp, like one of the Christmas tree line stamps on there. That was a submission. So it's my little tree line. Then I'm going to go in with Vegas strip. I'm gonna do it this way. Then I'm going to move into Sugar Plum. And I'm going to put Carnation Purple over the top, so I don't have to worry so much. But I'm still going to dab it because I want that like nice softness. If you don't dab it, it'll just come out darker, but I like to be able to play with it. And always add more color. And then I'm going to go with my Carnation Purple. So we're going to curve those edges a little bit, make those darker. And then this is where everyone thinks I'm like kind of crazy, but I actually like to add a tiny bit of black on my nighttime scenes, just on the edges like this. And you see like it's tiny, 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 tiny amount of black. And we'll stamp that out. And it just kind of firms up the edges. Like it's not major, but like there's your nighttime scene. You can put maybe some stars on, you could add some glitter, you could stencil, you could use embossing powder. You could firm this up if you wanted to, add a few more layers, but I kind of like the piece in there. You could even add a little bit of pink all over, or at least near the top, like this. Let me show you. Just try not to ruin it. Oh, I wonder. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. So I'm going to take a piece of plain white. You see all that ink that's still on that stamp? That's alcohol. To one with water in it. Okay. Couple of spritzes of water. I don't know if this is going to pick up anything, but we're going to see. So there you go, you got a second print. So here's your first, and then using all the ink. I actually really like that second print too. So you've got that. And then what I was thinking, what's everyone thinking of this stamp so far, this shadow stamp? So I'm going to take bubble gum. Let's see what happens. And I'm going to really pat it. Like really pat it. Put some down. I'll do a little bit more. I kind of want flamingo, but I don't know if I'm brave enough. I want flamingo like in here. Like in there. Let's see. What's the worst that can happen? It's just paper, right? Oh, I like that. Look how that came out. Just adding that little bit of pink. Like now it looks like really nighty. Nighttime-y. Nighty. I don't know, whatever you say. So then there's that one. And then look where you've got the watercolor version. right? So there's another way you can do it. So next, so you can do a second generation print. Moody Monet. Oh, I like that. Look at you, Lisa. Okay. Then. You can also do the traditional watercolor. So again, we can do this a couple of different ways. Let's do it with like ombre blues to start with. Usually, I think that. So when I'm doing watercolor, I do like to put down my lightest color first. Actually, I'm just using regular 110-pound white Elizabeth. So this time I'm not patting in between. I'm literally just marrying the two colors up. And then we want a good spritz with water here. That wasn't water. Let's see what happens. And then you get this. So I actually made a mistake there. I spritzed this with Prime Time. And one of the active ingredients in Prime, it's not going to do any harm. One of the active ingredients in Prime Time means you get like these mottled extra specks. So it like pulls some of the color out. It's like bleaching a little bit, and that's what's taken away your residue on your photopolymer. So if you spritz with Prime Time, you're going to get these kind of like fun mottled bits in here. Let me grab, I thought that was water, and then I smelt it and I'm like, that's right. Yes, this one's water. So we'll do another one and I'll spritz it with water. You'll see the difference. You won't get these like mottled bits in it. And I like press it in different places just to kind of move the ink around nicely. But you see, like, it does give you a different effect. So you can try that. You can spritz your watercolor with Prime Time and you'll get like these kind of more, like if you're doing an under the water, this would be a perfect look, under the water scene like this as well. Now, if you want to do colors, somebody asked me like, how do I do watercolor, like this technique, but with colors that typically create mud? It's not easy. You want ones that really are not going to create mud, of course, when they come together. But that being said, say, for instance, I want to do I'm going to do palm tree and sugar plum. I'm going to try and make this work. I made it work the other day, a while ago. So I'm putting my sugar plum down and I'm spritzing. And I'm going to let that ink like move around. Ooh. Okay, we might have to do this a second time because I have a feeling this one's going to look really good. But let's see. Let's see what comes out. Okay. I'm not putting the palm tree on top of that because that is super pretty. So all I did was put ink on the top half but I spritz water on the whole thing. And because it's water-based ink, of course, it goes anywhere that water is. So as I stamp down, look at that gorgeous ombre we got, like from dark to light. So pretty, just by like letting the ink move. Okay. This is like the coolest stamp in the world that we've had. I probably should have just released it as a stamp, not put it in here. But also, spoiler alert, in your Easter baskets, you have another version of this stamp coming for those of you getting Easter baskets. So you can do all these techniques in different ways again, with a different version of this stamp. So if you want other shapes and sizes and all that kind of stuff, you'll need to get the Easter basket, because the stamp that comes in it is a panel that has this in other ways. Okay. Yes, there's a few baskets still there. Actually, we need to send out an email about those. That's on my list. So what was I going to do? I was going to do sugar plum. So I'm going to do the sugar plum. 2 spritzes of water. That's it. That's what you're allowed. And put it down. Oh, yes, there is no Easter in the Easter basket. It's a spring basket, but we call it Easter basket because they'll be sent out for Easter. And it's just fun. And when you see the paper that Lisa has designed for you, oh my goodness, the watercolor paper, oh my God, it's to die for. Like easy, you remember the easy scenes we did with the Dear Dad? Oh my goodness, this is like gorgeous. I'm waiting for this to dry if you wondered why I was doing this. And just sitting here waiting, not quite like a lemon, but yes. And I love the fact that this looks like this organic watercolor edge, because I'm useless at that stuff. So you can do this so easily. And then do gold embossing over the top with some like hand lettered stamps. And it's instantly going to look like you're like, excuse me, the best hand lettering artist ever. All right, so now I'm going to put my green on the bottom. 2 spritzes of water. Although I'm going to fade out just this little bit here because it looks aggressive. And I don't like it to look aggressive. So remember, these are colors who would typically make mud. Yay, Sheila's got full set. So you can see here, you are going to get a little bit of dark just where the 2 colors overlap, but this does prevent the mud. So if you want to do something that typically would make mud, the only way you can do it is to do one, let it dry, do the other. And it's just where it overlaps. It's not mud, it's just dark. It's just where you've layered purple and green together. It's not, it actually looks black. It looks like you've got a really cool black piece in there. So just FYI, you can, with this stamp, you can't do it with the photopolymer. I tried doing the photopolymer, it was like a fail. It just kept reactivating. But because something about the way the rubber holds the ink allows you to fix this like this. So there is that option. What else did I want to show you with this stamp? Yay, Cece got her basket. It's really cool. I want to show you something, but I'm just trying to think of the best color combo to do this with. Oh, I just had an idea. All right, let's try. You're all up for me to like try stuff with you guys, right? And it might fail, it might not. We might be all right, we might not. I'm gonna grab a bigger crack. Keeping it real. Yes, we're keeping it real. I was just looking at this, Lisa, and I was like, I wonder if that would work. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, we're going to try, let's try flamingo. Let's try Okay, and I'm going to use the doodle heart. And I'm going to take it and stamp in on. My white rubber. It would help if I had some paper ready. Lift. Stamp this one down. I'm guessing there's enough ink on here to probably, hopefully I got the right half. I think I just got the wrong half. Oh, yeah. Look, so one, I have all of this on here. Oh my goodness, I just had an idea. So on here, I have like this super cool texture block. Do you see? And then with the reverse, that was what was left on the stamp. Like this. But what if we put flamingo down and we put sugar plum down. I'm not doing too much dotting. I'm just kind of like trying to do a little bit. If we take a heart, I'm trying to basically make my own ink pad. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see. Lift it up, put this one down, get another piece of cardstock, stamp out my heart. See, look how cool that ombre is. I missed a little bit in here, but that's not the end of the world. So basically you can make your own ombre ink pads using this stamp as well. Okay, I'm kind of in love. I think to do the original technique I wanted to do, I'm gonna have to do something different, but give me a sec. Because this pad goes a little bit, like it doesn't quite come out how you'd want. So what I'm thinking, all right, so stay pleased up for a second. Who else is excited that we can now make our own ombre ink pads using this panel? Isn't that cool? So cool. So cool. Okay, so what I was originally thinking, I have two ideas. So let's try them. I'm going to do some red luster. So I'm wondering, so if I pat this down, that's a lot of ink. And then I stamp into it. And then I stamp out. Nope. And let's do it a different way. This might not work at all, but I was wondering if we could like basically do like a bleach technique. What I'm gonna do. Okay. So for this one, I'm gonna take my stamp. I really lightly misted it with Squid Buster rather than water, because of course Squid Buster is designed to clean away ink. I'm going to now put this on here. Remember, it's slightly moist. Okay. And I'm going to stamp it out. I'm gonna smush. I haven't really needed to smush up to this point, but I think this one may need to. Yeah, not quite what I was going for. I think it's a kind of cool texture. I wonder if we used Trip Around the World. Maybe that would be better. Do a different color. This one definitely needs a bath. I've got so many ink colors in it. She knows. So if we did, let's do some Cotswold green. That. And I'm going to take this Trip Around the World because it's going to be an all over texture. And I think maybe that's what you need. So again, I'm just going to like put it on the top, lift it off. Ah! All right, we're going to have a smudge on there. We know that now. And then I'm going to also do the same because I want to see how this reacts. Half my heart is missing when we're apart. Oh, Lisa, I could make that for him while he's away. I love that. Look at that. So you get this really cool like panel for this. And then if you're a mixed media person, this is going to be fun. Like you can see that map texture? I can see it in person. I don't think the camera's picking it up that well. But like you can see all the lines here. The other thing you can do, is take some Cotswold. Let's take some, let's do British Racing Green. I'm going to ink up this stamp. I'm going to stamp this into here. And you can layer the two. Look at that texture. So you can add that. This will work really well if I take the heart, clean this off. So it's a really good way, no masking. Like you can stamp your background and have everything on there perfectly. Where did I put the heart down? My heart. Okay, this class might just be on how to use this really cool stamp, by the way. I have one more thing I want to show you after this with this stamp, and then we'll launch into other stuff, and you can would you get a similar, oh, I don't know. Do we need to try that, Lisa? Who wants me to try detail alcohol? Oh, alcohol lift ink. I was thinking about putting alcohol ink on the stamp. I don't know. Well, if you want me to try it with alcohol ink in a minute, you can let me know. My thought was, well, Lisa's up for the alcohol ink stamp. This is bubble tea. Here's flamingo. was thinking was add this on here. So you can see, like, how cool is that? Where you can have a panel and then you can stamp something in. But look, so I didn't have to like mask this edge or anything. This is like perfect because you stamp it onto here and then you stamp it out like that. So if you want like the cool watercolor behind and then you want to use the doodle or a texture stamp or whatever you want, then you can do that, cover the whole piece. You could even do it like so imagine, because you could do this with a big background too. I was just like trying to cover the whole panel because I don't have a big background stamp. But imagine you had a big background stamp. So there's like another idea for you. This is like the endless stamp. You can use this so many different ways. If this one doesn't sit on your desktop next to you, I think I'd be kind of sad. Particularly as now you're going to have other shapes too coming in your Easter baskets. So that's that one. Then that just made me think of something. Oh, the other thing you could do is take a stencil. Smush ink through it. Put this somewhere where you're not going to get covered in ink. Like, look at that. You can do like pattern prints. Lisa goes, mic drop. You, Lisa. Like, how cool is that? Like, I hope, like, you've got so much cool stuff in this box. Like, I love this map stamp and stuff like that. But like, I really hope just alone that this stamp is worth getting this whole box and doing the class because it is super, super cool. And the fact you're now going to have other ones and nobody else is going to have them unless you got these limited editions. Like, no one else has got this stamp. They can't buy this stamp. Yeah. And if you tell anyone about this, they're all going to want it. So we have to keep quiet. We're just going to tell them they're in the Easter basket. You need to tell everyone to get the Easter basket so that they get something a little bit like this. So they have this. The stencil was overly attached, Lisa. Overly attached. Okay. There was one other idea I had. Oh, yes, that was it. I remember. Okay. So you can use this like a mirror stamp as well. So if you wonder what I mean by that, let's take, I'm going to show you something cool. And something smaller. Bear with me a second. I need a stamp. Smaller. I really wanted some critters, but I don't know where my critters went. One second, I'm going to grab some critters. So, say for instance, I'm so glad, Lisa. I'm glad you like get to do this too. I kind of want to do a class for the Easter basket, but I don't know what the schedule is going to be like, so I don't want to commit to that. All right, so say for instance, you want to do these little critters. We want to have a row of them, but you don't want them to, you kind of want them to like lean into each other or something. I don't know. So what we're going to do is you grab another acrylic block from up here. They'll both go here. So what you can do there's also a really cute sentiment set that goes with this, which I love and would work really well with your ephemera. My black needs re-inking. I think I just saw a new one. Because you need the color to be strong. That's why I was. Oh, his eye is going to come out. But anyway, so we're going to take this. We're going to stamp it on our mirror stamp. Okay. And then you stamp it down onto your thing. And then you can see you have them going this way. So when you then take your ink pad, and they're going to be a little bit lighter just because you've got like second generation stamping going on. What you can do, by the time you color them, you'll never notice. So just with my Copic, I would just kind of touch in some of the lines, but look, I can have a line of them and they're opposite to each other. They're sitting like one way and then the others are sitting the other way. You could do a bouquet of flowers and have them reversed. You could have like this, two little bears. Look, I could do, let's do another. A cute little bear. It's the one we colored in the Copic. So we can stamp him. And we can stamp. And we do one here. And they look like they're leaning into each other. They're like the little perfect pair of bears. How cute is that? I know, adorable, Cece says, adorable. So you can also do that with them. You can use this like a mirror stamp so that they like lean in, or if you don't want to reverse something, or I don't know, any of that kind of stuff. So this works really well, and I think works way better than any other I don't know what we called this stamp in the beginning. I can't remember what we called it. I'm starting to think it should just be called the magic block, because of all the stuff we can do with it. Okay, let me think. Have I shown you everything I wanted to show you with this stamp? We did watercolor, we did the ombre, we did the rainbow, we did scenes, stamped into it. I think that's it. Oh, alcohol ink. That's what we wanted to try. Does anyone else want me to try alcohol ink with it? I have some Yupo here. This one says yes, please. All right, let me grab this Yupo. I don't want Geminio. I'm gonna grab some Geminio because I think that's gonna work best. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna run as fast as I can. And grab some. I just thought something else. Put that one there. I got some Geminio. Got a paper trimmer. And for those you get in the Easter basket, you also get an A2 size Geminio for the first time. All right, so we're going to use Geminio because I think it's going to behave best. And I have two different ways we could do this. So I'm going to take some. This is pink sherbet and purple twilight. Actually, no, it's not purple. We'll do sailboat blue. I'm just going to do two colors because it's not that big of a canvas to use. But I want to try something else before we put alcohol ink on it, just in case I ruin my stamp. I don't think I will, but I need. Clip splat. All right, couple of pieces here. Right, I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. I have two quick things I want to show you that may or may not work, but let's see. All right, so I'm taking our favorite Snow Flurries Reinker. Look what I'm going to do. I don't know whether to leave it random and let the water. I guess we can try both. So if we leave it random, spritz it with water, like this, and stamp it out. Let it soak in for a minute. Okay. Lift it up. Ooh, look at that background. To work on. And then you could add all sorts of stuff to it. You can I'm thinking if you're big into mixed media, it's a really nice base. Ooh. And now I just got critters in love and sentiment. All right, I'm gonna cut now. Let's try a couple of these. Before I do alcohol ink, I want to get everything else out, as I say, just in case. So that's random. I'm going to put that up there. I'm going to try it with all over. Let's try that. I'm just going to use my brayer. Like, oh, there's ink on my brayer. Well, I guess we're going to have some fun here. So I'm just brayering over it, but there was some ink on my brayer, so it's added some color in. So let's just spritz. So it's nice and activated. Stamp. I'm going to smush just because I'm trying to get that like fun stuff going on. Ooh, look at that. Look at like under the sea. It reminds me of like seaweed or coral or something like that. That's doing it all over and then using the brayer. Oh, winter trees. Oh my God, I love that panel. All right, that needs to dry over there because I kind of love that. I want to see what this looks like because there's like some really cool veining still left on there. So let's see what a second generation print looks like. Kind of feel like this is like a gel print for gel plate for stampers. Like you can do all these stamping techniques on it. Oh, look at that. That's like the inverse of this. How cool is that? She's like love. It's just a white reinker. That's all it is. It's just the Snow Flurries reinker. All right. So then my last idea with the Snow Flurries reinker, because you know I love this. I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to spritz it just a little bit to start moving it. And now I'm going to add some bubblegum reinker. And some muscle car re-inker. I don't know what this is going to do, but we're going to find out. I'm going to like move. You see I'm moving my Misty. Okay, so I've moved it. So I've got like a panel like this. And no more water. I literally just did it by moving. And we're going to put this down. We're going to smush. I can't believe, I mean, yeah, we've used all the other stamps in the kit as well. But like, this is such a cool stamp that for 2 hours we can stamp with it and try stuff and find some really cool stuff to do with it. Like, this one's super cool. Ooh, look at that. Imagine now, like, let this dry, heat dry it, let it dry, whatever you want to do. And then just get some embossing powder, maybe like a gold or a bright pink or something like bold. And then just stamp a sentiment over the top. Look how pretty they. You could also do this on like our colored vellum. It would look super, super pretty. Super, super pretty. Aww. Okay, so before we get to alcoholing, I have one more. All right, so we're going to take, oh, I need black cardstock again. That's why I cut extra black, not for all my experiments. We got another bit. And I'm just using our regular Eclipse black. This is not like black watercolor paper or anything like that. This is just. We're going to take some clear. I'm going to do it twice because you know me and my clear. And some snow flurries. Some great. And we'll do bubbles. Okay, and you can use, of course, the one in your kit. You can use any kaleidoscope powders. Every single one of my rose gold brown. Oh no, here they are. I was like, how does every single one dissipate? I need 3. Yeah. So we're going to do an ombre with kaleidoscope. So I'm kind of just going to swipe in there just to give myself like, okay, that's the end of that line. And then I'm doing a light dab. Then I'm going to just do another swipe. Go in here. And then in here. This is the hubble. Okay. So what you do is you put all the colors on like this. You put all the lids on because otherwise you make a mess. And I'm going to take my rose gold and I'm going to just go like this down it. So no side to side, no any of this, we just go down. And that's how you get, look at that cool fade. Like such a cool fade on there. And if you wanted to, you can take some clear. Put it on top of this. And you can lift out some of that texture as well. Okay. Now, if you want this impression to be more solid than rustic like this, I'm trying to clean braille. I don't know where they are. I'm gonna try and clean this the best I can. What you want to do is take some clear re-inker. So clear re-inker, you really don't need much. It's just like a little scribble on there. There might even be a little bit too much to see. You want a thin-ish coat. You don't want it too thick. I'm going to stamp this down. Because if it's thick, it will just run. Hey, Judy. This is just our regular black cardstock, Lisa. Everything I've done is on either a 110-pound white or a 100-pound black. That's it. All of it. Okay. So you see, like I have a little bit of a thicker coat on here. I'll just do one color for this. Let's just do a little bit of Hubble. Okay. And don't forget, you have to seal these with hairspray. Oh my God, Judy, this stamp is just amazing. And so you'll see you've got a much thicker coat by doing that. You get less of that rustic. And the more re-inker, of course, you put down, the thicker it gets. So when you do this part, this is before I sealed it. I just use a piece of dry kitchen towel and just brush them over. I don't do anything else. You can see you get an even crisper image. Like you can lift that out like that if you want to. And then you just seal it after that. Okay. All right, so last thing I'm going to try is I have my Geminio. We'll try both sides. I'm going to try two different versions of this idea. So version 1, I'm going to use the glossy side of Geminio. Okay. I'm going to use my Maker 40 inks, we're going to put some, trying to think which one's stronger. I'm going to put some Flamingo down. I'm going to put some Vegas Strip down. So as you know, you can turn these inks into alcohol inks with spritzing it with alcohol. So in this bottle, I just have isopropyl alcohol. I'm just going to spritz it like this. I'm going to take that to work. I'm going to pick it up. All right, so I spritz it with isopropyl alcohol. And we're going to put it down. Now, this won't do your stamp any harm because it's water-based ink. We're just turning it into an alcohol ink. Okay. The effect we get, I don't know. We're about to find out. Ooh, so pretty. So that was kind of light on the alcohol because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. So if I go heavier on the alcohol, let's try that quickly. This off. That one. This one. So I want to go heavy on the alcohol this time, like really make it move. So you can see, like I have lots of movement, like I literally can like tip this around and do all kinds of fun stuff with it. Let's go, let's go. Smush. Lift. Ooh. Okay, too much alcohol, but still kind of cool. All right, so there's a happy medium on the alcohol you put in, I guess. I mean, I can just tip this around. I could even just turn my paper, stamp again, like smush out what's there. And I still have a background I can like work with and use. Not kind of what we were going for. So there is a happy medium because too much alcohol, you get this, not enough, you get this one, but I do like this one actually. I do like this one. All right, but now I'm going to try alcohol inks. I'm kind of nervous. I don't know why. It shouldn't do it any harm. And it's white rubber. It's not going to eat it or do anything. I don't know why I'm nervous about this. But anyway, we're going to find out what happens. So I'm going to use Geminio. I'm going to use the reverse side, the matte side of the Geminio. Okay, matte side of the Geminio. I'm going to put this somewhere that it's not going to make too much of a mess. And I picked out Pink Sherbet and Sailboat Blue. Now you could use blending solution on the stamp. It's not going to do any harm. I'm going to use isopropyl alcohol just because I want to be able to spray it. And they say don't spray blending solution. I'll admit I have. And I even had a chemist look at it and they said there wasn't a problem, but I'm sure it's just them covering themselves. So don't spray blending solution. So I'm just taking isopropyl alcohol. I want to move my ink around. I don't think this is going to do what I want it to do. Actually, I know it's not going to do what I want it to do. I'm going to do it a different way. All right, I'm going to start that again. Woo. I'm trying to keep this in frame, but it's really hard. So instead, I'm going to do my eyes. Spritz with alcohol first. Then put my ink down. Light mist with the alcohol. Move my ink a little bit, not too much. Maybe one more spritz with alcohol, just to kind of like activate it all. We might need blending solution, and I don't know what my blending solution. There we go. Ooh, I like that. Look at that piece. And then again, you could stamp on it. You could add, like now it's got alcohol down. What happens if we, ooh, look at that. But we've already set our boundaries. So the alcohol is not going to go outside of the boundaries of the stamp. So you can like, that's so cool. so cool. Like, look, now I can work with it. But it's set within that boundary because that's where my alcohol is. Like, you know, watercolor doesn't go outside of the water. The alcohol won't go outside of the alcohol boundary. Like, I love that. I don't know. What does everyone else think of that piece? Like as a base for something? And to be able to just do it in panels. And like the ones you've got coming, I think there's squares. So you'll be able to do like tiles and stuff like this. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. So there's that. And then, all right, what? I'm going to take that piece of Gemini out and use the back of it because I only have a little bit here. I'm just going to like spritz what's on here and see what comes out. Because like there's this really cool second generation, it looks like they could be. I'm trying to see if I can see some blending solution. I can't see any blending solution. I was looking for some. Let's see what this did. Ooh, again, a nice base, nice and light. Oh, so pretty. And then maybe if we like, so if I say, for instance, did this, I haven't got an archival ink, but I'm going to just do it with black and just try something. Because you could do exactly what I'm about to do, just do it with archival. You just have to work fast. Imagine doing this with archival ink. So you do an alcohol panel and then do the stamp into it. 3 minutes. And then you've got like an alcohol panel and then the stamp on top of it perfectly. How cool is that? Actually, that's drying. It might be all right. So cool. And then imagine you can do these panels, let it dry. Then you could put clear all over your stamp and clear embossing powder. And then you could glaze it and have like a glazed watercolor panel on top. Does that make sense? So if you, for instance, did like this one here, put it in, put clear all over, put clear embossing powder on here, and then you could, it would look glazed like but it would have that raggedy edge to it. It was so pretty, like on the front of a card. Like how high end would that look to put the clear embossing powder on that once you've done a panel? I mean, it would look like the most amazing card. You could do a 1 layer, do this, put a sentiment on. Now take this, fill this with clear, and you'd have like the most beautiful inlay, like ceramic panel on the front of your card, and it would be done. Like so cool. So many options, so many opportunities with this stamp. The other way, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I just grabbed some hand sanitizer to clean my stamp. I think that would be the best way. And then just to do Squid Buster after that. Yeah, look, it takes all that color off. I mean, there's a light staining, but nothing I'm going to worry about. So clean it, hand sanitizer, Squid Buster, you're good to go. We've got the love potion in there. We've done that. We've done alcohol ink. I was keep trying to look if I can find blending solution. The only thing I could try is I have some of that Copic Various. This is the one that we used last week for the fur texture. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to just grab some from around the edge. Do I have another piece of Gemini? Oh, yes, I have one more piece of Gemini. This is our last piece. So again, I'm going to use the matte side of the Gemini. I'm going to use the same inks. Ooh, it's already behaving differently. So I didn't spray the various, I just put a little bit down and then use my finger to move everything around. I'm letting it dance just a little bit, and then I'm getting it straight down. See what happens. As I say, you can then also work on top of it because it's going to stay within those boundaries. So now I got this, ooh, which is really pretty. If I wanted to maybe add like and so you see it's sticking to those boundaries. So you could maybe stamp with blending solution and then put your colors down too. Or stamp with isopropyl alcohol and then put your colors down. I kind of wish I had more Gemini. I have more, actually I have Yupo. I don't have Gemini, but I have Yupo. So let's just grab a piece of Yupo and try that. And then that's the last one we'll try. We're kind of out of time. So this is just Yupo paper. I like Gemini just because of the price point, as you know, and there's so much we can do with it. But we use what we've got. All right, so I'm going to clean this off. I'm going to spritz it with isopropyl alcohol and stamp. Metallic alcohol, you could probably use the ones with the shimmer in, but you couldn't use an alloy or a mixative, Elizabeth. So I would say your pearls, definitely try them. Because they don't dry as fast, but the alloys and the mixatives dry so fast, I think it would just get stuck on your stamp and you'd be stuffed. Like you could do it this way around that we're about to do right now. I'm actually going to stamp it twice just to make sure it's nice and moist. But this is alcohol, so it's going to dry really fast. You're going to have to work fast. I'm going to have my alcohol inks ready. Yeah, we do have a couple of colors left of alcohol. Okay, that looks like a nice. I have a little blower thing here. Oh my God, this is so fun. Oh my God, I love this. All right, try this. Either put some isopropyl alcohol on your stamp it down, and then play with it. Because what you get is like these really cool wispy bits. And it does go outside of that tiny bit because you're blowing it. But look at that. Look how contained and small that little area is and how gorgeous that is. You could also do what I did with the various. Just take your finger, just put some on here. Same with the blending solution. Then just kind of like whooshy it out, stamp it down, and then do this. It's going to be so cool. I wish I had blending solution. I thought I had some on my table, but I can't see it anywhere, and I don't even know where to start looking for it right now. So that's an experiment you will need to do at home on your own. But who has enjoyed this class? Like, have you had fun in this class? Have you enjoyed all the cool stuff? Do you love this stamp as much as I do? I hope so. Hopefully you all are getting Easter baskets as well, so that you can have the other shapes of this and do more stuff like this as well. So the Easter basket has a version of this that's like tiles and stuff, so you can do other shapes and things. You've got paper packs. Oh my God, the most beautiful like scenic paper pack that Lisa's put together. There is, I think there's Easter charms in there. There's paper packs, versatiles, ephemera. Like it's over $150 worth of products, and it's 60 something. Lisa's gonna have to tell me. It's $175 worth of products for $64.99. Like huge value. And there's less than 15 left because I saw a couple sell today come up on my phone while we were crafting along. So grab those. My desk is a complete pigsty, but I am not dealing with it today. So I hope you have enjoyed this class. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you all. Kathy, we're aiming to get them out as soon as we possibly can. I'm making the stuff as quickly as I possibly can. Stencils will start to get cut today, and then we'll go from there. So we're working on all that stuff, and I'm going to go hang out with the kids for a bit. Yes, you have a code 28 with love, 28 with love, 28% off everything except the Fab 5. It's valid till Tuesday. And yeah, I really can't wait. So thank you all for all of your purchases. I appreciate you all. You cannot use that 28 with love on the Easter basket though. You cannot use that on the Easter basket because it's already deeply discounted. So that's included as a bundle. So it won't work on that for you. But that's it. So I'm going to hop off of here. Thank you for joining me. I'm sorry it was delayed a couple of times, but lots of you know the situation around that we talked about at the beginning too. And I will see you all soon. Happy crafting, everyone. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and I will see you soon.